Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire. Fed up with the same.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Be More moment. And today I want to talk about something. I don't give unsolicited advice because nobody asked me. Now, you can say these Be More-ers are unsolicited advice, but I'm not calling people out specifically to take my advice. You can take it or leave it, right? That's the difference. So stop giving unsolicited video advice. And let me tell you a story. You know, there's always a story that comes with this. So I was a couple of stories actually. So I was scrolling through social media and there was an ad that came up for a camera, and it was basically, I can't remember the name of it or the type of camera it is, but it was basically a camera that is for content creators. And most content creators are not videographers or filmmakers. They don't understand all the different working parts of a DSLR or mirrorless film. And so often they're looking for vlogging cameras and quick ways to get their content done so they can get it up. That is what they're looking for. So this camera was clearly one geared toward content creators, and all the comments were full of hateful, hate relative unsolicited advice. Well, really, this isn't a professional camera. A better camera is this. Well, this is the best. My dear, who asked you? My brother, who asked you? My sister, who asked you? Nobody. Let people live and be free with whatever they want to do, because at the end of the day, I bet you the ones who get that or who are buying these cameras are the ones that are really interested in starting to make content that helps, that converts, etc. Meanwhile, you're on a Facebook post talking about how this is not a professional camera and not creating a damn thing. Stop it. Nobody asked you, so there's no need to put it in there. Now, if you're on a Facebook post and you see somebody is asking for advice, then you could say, well, really, this is the type of camera I use, but it depends on what your goals are. So at the end of the day, the tools you use depend on what your end goal is going to be. So if somebody is too quick, and we talked about this the other day, so shout out to you, Tom, from Not the Smartest Guys in the Room, because we talked about this the other day. If somebody is too quick to give you an answer without even knowing what you're doing, you should look side-eye at that advice. Sometimes people want a quick answer. They just want to be told what camera to get or what microphone to get. It depends. It depends. Now, I can give you recommendations based off of what I have used before and what I have seen work for other people. But at the end of the day, or beginning of the day, you're going to have to try it out for yourself and see whether or not you like it. And it may not work for your needs. That microphone you pick up may be deplorable and does not work with your voice. So that means you have to get something else, right? So it really is dependent upon your needs and what fits best for you as an individual, right? Think about all of those things before you even venture into buying things. And here's the thing. If you, and we tend to be like this, I'm saying we, because yes, I am a videographer and a filmmaker, and I know how we can be. We like to be know-it-alls. We like to let people know that we understand what an f-stop is, that we understand the color theory of light. We like to let people know that. But at the end of the day, other people are out there, you monetizing on YouTube without all of this. Now, does their video look good? No. And I'm the first one to say that. But they're out there getting their message to the people who need it and who want it and are entertained by it, while we sit and grumble in Facebook comments. How useful is that? It's completely useless. So if you are a professional videographer, photographer, filmmaker, and you are creating content, or you understand cameras, I should say, focus on making content that maybe will help other people rather than grumbling in the ad of comments. You know who you are. All right. Well, hopefully that was helpful, because I saw that and I was like, oh, we have to stop with this madness. And I hope this helps you to be more with your videos and live streams. Until next time, cheers.
He's here for you. He is scope when you emotionally broke. Settling our knowledge and conversations, don't make them yours. Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Tachi back with another Be More moment. This time, we're talking about the Stanley Cup. I'm sure you've seen these around and know for my people from upstate New York, from Michigan, from Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Canada, I am not talking about the hockey award. No, I'm talking about Stanley, the company that was actually founded in 1913 by, I believe his name is William Stanley. And these are cups. If you are not familiar with them, you haven't been paying attention to what's going on in pop culture. But they can keep liquids hot and cold, and they're actually wonderful. But it's not like they're the first that ever came up with that. But actually, Stanley is a well-known company and has been around. What, 1913? This makes a hundred and 11, no, 100 and whatever. It makes years. Do the math yourself. So it's over 100 years old. Now here's the thing. And with Stanley, sales after a while were lagging. Now, of course, they were really aimed toward people who were working, a lot of construction workers, etc., who needed to keep things hot and cold, like lunch, soups, all that type of thing. And they had decent sales, but what really turned their sales around was when they came up with the quencher in different colors. So the quencher is the mug, the huge mug. It comes in different sizes that you see with the handle, right? And the straw. That has become like a popular culture icon. That is the it cup to have that everyone has. So it wasn't that that particular cup did not exist before or that tumbler did not exist before. It's that they went after new audiences with new colors. So the new colors they had, like the pinks, the lavenders, the mint greens, were things that were really attractive to women, and women became their new target audience. And this all happened after they hired new marketing people to refresh the brand, etc. Well, they refreshed it all right. They refreshed those themselves into $45 tumbler cups that people are buying like hotcakes. Okay, so what's the lesson here with video? Obviously, there's a pop culture lesson here, but the lesson here with video and creating content is sometimes you need a refresh. Sometimes you need to Stanley Cup whatever it is you're doing. If you notice that you're making content and maybe it's not resonating, now there's a number of reasons that people may not see it, algorithm being one. But aside from that, maybe it's not hitting the right note. You're not hitting the right note. So maybe you need a refresh. Do you need new colors? And I'm saying this in quotes, like the Stanley Cup people did. What new can you add to your brand? What new can you add to your videos that will help to be a refresh? And it's never too late to refresh them. And here's the thing, you can do a replay. So think about what Stanley did. Basically, what Stanley did was a replay. Those were things that already existed, and they just did a replay with some tweaks to it. The colors. What can you do to the content that you maybe already have and adding, quote, color to tweak it? Can I repurpose this content in a different place on a different platform? Can I repurpose this content with a new background, or put it on something? Can I add text to it? What can I do that can remix this and act as a replay, right? So remix, replay, think about that. That's exactly what Stanley Cup did, or Stanley, I should say, did. And that's what I want you to do. Be a Stanley. And there are so many examples of this with products, etc. This happens all the time. This is not the first time this has ever happened. But if you think about products that are really popular now, take a look at them and discover why they are popular. What was it that made it popular? And how can you apply that same knowledge or those same techniques to you and creating video? It's always helpful to do a refresh every once in a while. It shows your audience that you are thinking about them, that you are trying to do things in new ways. Because if you think about it, one thing I couldn't stand is teachers or professors who had the same damn notes from year to year and never upgraded anything. Okay, maybe things like history, for example, stay the same, but what new spin can you bring to it? What new spin can you bring to it? And often, sometimes with teachers and professors, there is not the you don't have to bring anything new to it because it's something that they have to learn. But guess what? There are so many ways to learn now, particularly when it comes to higher education. If you don't want to be obsolete, find a way to Stanley Cup your information. All right, now that I've effectively picked on higher ed and the academy, I'm going to go and I'm going to let you discover how to be more with your videos and live streams. Until next time, cheers.
Always here for you. Being so when you emotionally broke. Settling our knowledge and conversations don't make them yours. Close the doors, walk across the corridor. We got something to show you. Media is our repertoire.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Be More. Guess what we're talking about this time? Chairs. Yes! What do chairs have to do with video, my friend? Everything. Your chair matters. So that's what I want to talk about here. Number one, if you are going to be doing videos and you're going to be especially batch recording and you're going to be sitting in that chair for a long period of time, why would you not find something that's at the very least comfortable? If it's not aesthetically pleasing, at the very least, it should be comfortable. So think about the comfort of the chair, because if you're batch recording or you sit there and you do videos all the time, maybe you're doing something like a live stream or whatever on a daily basis. There are many of you who do daily live streams for like an hour or more. How can you sit in an uncomfortable chair? So take some, and you don't really have to spend a lot, but go and invest a little bit of money in a comfortable chair if this is something that you're doing all the time. Number two, your chair matters because you also don't want it to be the major part of the scene. Now, if you are flying a cockpit, or this is something that is part of your brand, or your video or live stream is predicated off of the fact that you are the captain and this is your ship, then by all means, go ahead and get a gaming chair. They're comfortable. They're made for people to sit there at hours on end playing video games. That's fine. But if it is going to conflict with what your brand is, a gaming chair is not necessarily conducive to a beauty brand. Now, again, I'm saying this notwithstanding the fact that you may have some issues where you need to sit in a chair like that. That's fine. Then do you. But if you don't have any issues, unless you are doing gaming or the branding necessitates that, stay away from branding chairs because gaming chairs, because too much attention is paid to the chair. Well, look how it comes up to the neck and circles the head. No, that's not. It's too much. It becomes a distraction. Again, if it's part of your brand, you need it for comfort, or it's something you're okay with, that's fine. But make your chair, while comfortable, nondescript, or make it discreet, because it's not about the chair, my dear. It's about you and your information. But if you're too busy looking at the wonders of my chair, you're not hearing me, are you? Or you have to roll it back and listen again, which you probably don't want to do. So don't give your audience any distractions out, when it comes to the chair. Now, can clothes be distracting? Yes. For example, I'm sure this is distracting. I don't care though, because this is part of my brand. Dressing in such a way where the fashion is a thing is part of my brand. So people have come to expect it. But if that's not something you do, if that's not part of your branding, it is a distraction. If it is not branding, it is a distraction. Think about that. So if you take a look at my chair is very nondescript. It's just a black chair and it has netting in the back. And it's a chair that I just got from you could get one from Amazon, from IKEA. I actually got this one from IKEA because I needed a new chair. The chair I had before was shredded wheat. I had it since I lived in DC in the early 2000s and I just kept it and refused to get rid of it. But then the stuffing kept coming out and I'm like, this is shameful. So I actually bought a new chair, but I didn't pay very much for it. This is comfortable. You don't really see very much of it. In fact, the less of the chair we see, the better. Because if you think about newscasters, about reporters and anchors on the set, do you see the chair? You see the top of them and that's it. And so we're not distracted by any of that. We ideally, I mean, this shows, but it's not that bad. But ideally, you don't want to see very much chair. So your chair matters in terms of that. So those are the things that I wanted to talk to you about today. Your chair matters. Comfort matters. And then the to be discreet matters as well. Unless, for example, like stick with colors that are discreet, unless, for example, you have pink or purple as your theme and that includes your chair, that's fine. But I don't feel personally that you need to do it with your chair. You can do it with your set. You can do it with the props on the set, and your chair doesn't have to be the main character. So I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Don't make the chair the main character. It matters for comfort. It matters because you don't want it to show too much, but don't make it the main character. Hopefully that made sense. And the next time you go shopping, say, I need to pick up some sort of office chair that will be comfortable for me to shoot video with, because your chair matters. All right. And maybe one day what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little video about my setup, my production corner. I have a rolling table that matches this rolling chair. All right. So we'll talk about that next time. But for now, I am urging you to consider your chair because your chair matters, and to be more with both your videos and your live streams. Until next time, my friends, cheers.
Here for you. When you were emotionally broke, settling our knowledge.